Hey everybody, it's Brian here from quantlabs.net. We got Adam here and David who's going to present us all the time machine for .NET. Take it away, Adam.
Okay. Hello everybody, and it's great to be able to present to you the time machine for .NET. I'm Adam. I just came with the idea and how to do that tool. I will speak a little bit more in a minute. And with me also is David.
Hello.
Maybe just to give some background. We work in a company that supplies the enterprise software to large companies, and we have like 20 years of experience creating enterprise software. Right now we have something like 150 large clients, some of them from the Fortune 500 list, and something around 200,000 users of our software. And like every software company, we struggle with some problems. And one of the problems we had and we have identified is that bug fixing sometimes takes a long time. And with many of the big clients we do have the service level agreements signed up. So basically, we are bound to fix every issue they report in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, even sometimes hours. If we are not meeting those deadlines, we just pay penalties. So basically, we wanted to make those bug fixing process faster, and we needed a tool for that. And we are the software developers ourselves, so we just brought one. So what is the time machine for .NET? It is a tool, tailored for the developers, and it allows to record what the .NET application is doing under the hood and replay that later. And with that, we can go forward and go backwards in that recording just to trace the particular error and actually trace the exact moment when it's originated. Okay, so what we tried to solve with the time machine for .NET, as I said, okay, the eliminating errors, that it just takes too long. Actually, when you try to fix a bug, the lion's share of the time you spend on it is on replicating the bug and on trying to figure out, okay, where actually is the real cause of that. And the other thing is sometimes we do have limited access to our developers tools. So when your software is not running, in your own cloud, in your own data center, but it is running on the client's data center or some external cloud or something like that, sometimes you just don't, there are bugs that manifest themselves on the staging servers, on the production servers, and you can't really replicate those easily. And as a developer myself, I will be glad to be able to run Visual Studio to remote debug the app and something like that. But sometimes you just don't have that ability. There are some security policies in place and so on. So we wanted to create a tool that will allow us to gather at least some of the data and without requiring us to install anything beside our application. And the third thing we wanted to also hit with that tool was that when you try to learn a new code base, for example, when we hire a new programmer, some junior programmer, for example, our software, our app right now, it have some errors. It does have some errors, and it is large. Our code base for our flagship product is like right now it is a little bit more than 1.5 million lines of code. So it is large. And there is new code written. We rewrite some of the code. There is also some legacy code there, and it is just large code base. And the documentation, of course, we have, but sometimes it just lacks, and so on. So we wanted that the tool would be also helpful to just make the introduction to the code base easier. So we wanted to just fresh people, I could say, be able to start being productive. Start, for example, by fixing bugs without gaining a lot of knowledge beforehand. So okay, so just recap some of the data. So our parent company have 20 years of experience. It is a relatively small company, 50 people, but we serve the software for quite large organizations. Time Machine for .NET is a spin-off, and we dedicated a team of 8 developers, 8 senior developers, and it took us 2.5 years to create that. Okay, the Time Machine for .NET integrates with Microsoft Visual Studio 2013 and 2015, and with all of the editions. So it can run even on a community edition. Okay, so it works with apps written or targeted for Microsoft .NET version from 2.0 to 4.5. I mentioned earlier before the presentation that we do have successful tests with running those on Mono, and we want to, of course, support as many runtimes as there are or there will be. So we'll also make sure that it will work on Microsoft.NET Core, which was released earlier this month, and so on. And it supports projects written in C# and Visual Basic .NET. And we actually choose .NET because it is a leading platform, and leading platform we use, but we use also other platforms, other languages, and I think we'll also try to bring this tool to them also. Okay,
and
so
the plan is in the next to go to other platforms, depending on what kind of the feedback. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so what this Time Machine for .NET really is? Okay, it is a reverse debugger in the kind of allowing to record and replay what the application have done under the hood. So with that tool, developer can step backwards in time in the recording, each statement and each line of code. What's more, it records the history of local variables values. So you can always see when those variables, the values were set, when they were used, or when they were read, and so on. Okay. Also, the information we gather is presented on the source code itself. So when you step through in the application, backwards or forwards, you'll see the overlay adds to the source code, which just shows the variables values itself. That's of course you can turn it off, but it is just much easier to reason about why this particular code path was used or not, and why the application behaved that way or not. Okay, and of course it also visualizes how the application, how multiple threads of the application, when they were run, when they were working, at the same time, and you on this visualization, you also can see various points of interest. So for example, here we have the red triangle just shows the unhandled exceptions. The yellow one just shows the handled exceptions, all of the handled exceptions, and the blue one is user defined. And maybe I'll just show that later, but you can just search other things in your code and see when they were executed and so on. And okay, maybe I'll switch to an actual app just to show those how of those works on some right now basic example. So this app here is one of our web apps, and I won't be debugging this app. I will debug a smaller app that actually pumps data into it. So this application basically it's a workflow application for incoming letters, scans, emails, and so on in an enterprise company. And right now, I will just run a much simpler app that will just read the emails from the IMAP account, and it will try to pump those into this application. I'll just do that right now. Okay, and if I will run that, it just crashes. We just have a crash of the app. Okay, what I will do right now, I'll just load the project into Visual Studio 2015. Okay, just have loaded that, and to use the time machine to record what the app is doing, I need to compile it with the time machine compiler. So basically, the time machine compiler enhances the app to allow the recording to happen. Okay, so I'll just build the app itself. Okay, and I could run the app, of course, with the debug session attached, but I can also just run the app once more from the console application. It is compiled in release mode, but it doesn't matter for the time machine right now. So okay, I just run that. It crashed. I will open the main view of the time machine. Basically, all of the functions of the time machine are accessible from the menu time machine in the Visual Studio after installing that. So I'll just open the current state view, and I'll just load what the application have recorded right now. And what I see here is that the simple app actually have executed like 421 statements, and I'll just open another view, the thread view here, and I see the time span of the application, and I see that we do have this error here. I can jump to it by clicking the arrow, but I can also open this the marker view, which just show all those markers here. Okay, so I will just go here, and I see that we do have the null reference exception. It is in that line of code. And I'll open another view, the simple view here, and this simple view shows us every local variable that is reachable from that scope we are inspecting right now. So this small arrow shows us in what moment in time we are inspecting the application, and the thread view also shows us here the moment in time we are inspecting. So going back to the symbol view and actually looking at the line of code, I see that the problem goes from the email from address, which is null. And I can jump to the moment in time when our local variable became null. Okay, so it is here. And I see actually that it was passed as a parameter. I could step in backwards one step and trace that variable later earlier. But right now I'll just look at okay the email from, because this app reads the emails, and I see that okay, it's stumbled upon an email which okay, so Mr. Suleiman Bello want to transfer $25 million. Wow, that's great. But the email doesn't have even a flow from line in the headers. So probably it's not legit email, but we'll try to do something with that. So for that use case, I won't trace that to the start because probably the email doesn't have the from. I'll just jump to the last line we had, and I'll just safeguard the application from the null here. So I'll just introduced a new variable. I'll just make sure that if that variable is null, we'll just have an unknown. Okay, and I'll just use that variable here, and probably it will help. Okay, I will compile the application itself once more. Okay, I will run the app and I will see that it finished. I can check that just referring that, and I see the email was transferred here. We see the unknown here which we have added, and so it was just a basic example what the time machine can show us, and we can see that it records every variable's value. Okay, the app right now finished correctly. We see that it executed quite much more of the statements, and we have all of this data recorded. We can step through it, and we see that we have all the variables, and we can just reason about the application, how it worked that way in the recording. Okay, just to show maybe one more just thing, I will switch the project just to to one of my benchmark projects right now here. I'll just run it. This app is just doing some spawns multiple threads and doing some things at the same time, and now I can just read that and just to show you that we gather all the data from all the threads which are doing some things, and you can just like in normal debugger, you can step into, step over, step out, but you can do also those in backward. And you can also, step not in the the logical order of things, so how the lines of code are executed, but in the, I could say, real order of things. So if something was done, I was maybe just jump to this thread here now, and if I will just move here, I will see that actually the next instruction was done on another thread. So it also is helpful to think about some race conditions, and just if you have the shared state between the threads, it can be easier to determine what happens there. And just going to one more example. This actually is a web application, and this web application is just mobile version, mobile viewer, I could say, for the larger application I have shown before. I will just run the app. Just much simpler mobile interface of the app, and I just click through things here, and I will just load the data here, and I see that we recorded all the application was doing. I can switch the view to show the web requests if that's easier to jump to what we are interested in. But I can also see that this app, for example, handles some exceptions. You see 3 of them here, so I'm interested in what those are. And for example, I see here that we do have the exception, the directory not found exception. And right now, for example, I can see that this is some kind of code smell. Someone is reading files without checking if they exist first, for example. And so basically I can also check those things. Okay, and basically the time machine just records all what the app is doing, and just allows us to replay that recording and see how the state changed, and he's doing this for every line of code. And of course we can also inspect the HTTP requests. We can jump to previews and next execution of that statement or line we are right now inspecting. We can find the real usages or the real executions of that statement or the method. So we do have in the Visual Studio, we do have the find references, which will show us where there are places which call that method, but it shows us all the places where the method could be called. And Time Machine actually shows all the places where the method was called. So if any one of you have debug, have some debugging experience, sometimes we look at the code, we analyze the code which is never executed. And with Time Machine we can just step through and analyze the code which was executed when the error manifested. So it just makes that easier. Just going back to the presentation maybe. Some of the limitations of Time Machine as of right now. Right now we support viewing. Actually, you can record more, but right now you can view only the 1 GB of the recording. Though recordings are in most cases quite compact, but the Visual Studio itself is a 32-bit application, and it just has some memory limitations. It can address only 1 GB or 2 gigabytes of memory, and we allow to eat 1 GB of that. And we right now work to leave that limitation and few other, but that's right now is okay. Recording to a file, because this Time Machine can record the statements into a file, and right now it is managed with configuration file, so we do not have a GUI for that. And the replay right now in the Visual Studio is for one project only. So if you have more complicated application, you just need to choose what project you are right now debugging, and just switch between the projects for right now. Okay, and so far it's only available for Microsoft.NET. And okay, so how it differs from Microsoft IntelliTrace, which is a historical debugger available in Microsoft Visual Studio in the highest version, the enterprise version of Microsoft Visual Studio. And of course, the first thing is the Time Machine works with the lower version also, but we record all the changes and all the usages of local variables. And with Microsoft IntelliTrace, it's not so easy, and basically without the debugging session present, it is almost impossible. So Microsoft IntelliTrace just records only selected events, not everything. So we record state for every line code. And basically, all of the differences flows from that, and that composition matrix also is available on our web page. And yeah, in that moment presentation came when I also talk about when we have used that for the first time. So half year from the start of the development process, we had quite nice running prototype of the time machine, and one of our clients, of our top clients, have issue a report, a bug report for one of our Windows services, which integrates data from various other services into our system, and that there's some data corruption there, and it just doesn't behave like we wanted it, and we had 3 days to fix that bug as of our service levels agreement, and after that we'll just pay some penalties, and the team of 3 of our top developers tried for almost 3 days to locate the bug. We didn't have that data which was causing the problem on our developer machines, so it was very hard to replicate the bug, and we just made the decision, okay, let's compile that app with the time machine, with the prototype, and let's run this on production. Of course, we've got the consent of the client to do that, and we have run the app on the production server with the time machine, and we have transferred the recording to our developer machines. We look at that, and within 15 minutes we were able to locate the root cause of the bug and fix it. So basically, that was the moment when it just blow our minds out, just seeing how easy to was to just find the bug when we have the recording. Okay, so to recap all of those, what are the advantages of the time machine? It allows for execution of program execution of the program, so we can see all the code paths that being executed, and we can think about okay, why this app is behaving this way or another way. It allows for quick identification of errors causes, so we can reason backwards from the moment the bug itself manifested, being it with the exception or whatever, and we can just move backwards to see, okay, why it happened, and yeah, it's just easier to bring new people on board with the application. So if you have new hires, you can just have them being productive with the app almost from the start. For example, a few weeks ago, I just found a bug. It was a simple bug, but it was a bug for a chocolatey GUI software. Maybe I will not show how it is done. It's quite technical, but I was able to actually locate the bug, locate the places where the application doesn't behave correctly, locate also the places where the application behaved correctly, just to learn how it is done under the hood, that it is okay, that is all right, and use that knowledge to to transplant those behaviors to the places when the app doesn't behave correctly. And of course, it took me like half an hour. I completely didn't know what the design of the app is. I didn't read any documentation of the app. I just analyzed the runtime flow of the app, and I was able to fix that bug. And I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that, the bug fix was accepted, and right now it is upstream. So you can fix bugs, or even learn how to do those things even without the extensible knowledge of the app itself. Okay, yeah, you can record the application straight on hard drive. You can share this with other developers or have this just available for future use. And you can run the application enhanced by the time machine. You can run those on staging or production servers, and you don't need additional, privileges to do that. You just deploy your app like normally you will do, and you can see that you can record what it's doing there, and just use that recording. And maybe I'll just mention here that we also plan till the end of the year. We also plan to create a feature we are right now calling Crash Recorder. And the Crash Recorder will basically allow you to run your app enhanced by the time machine on your, for example, production or staging servers, but it won't record everything like it is doing right now. It will keep only few minutes of the recording in memory, and will drop everything else, just to not exhaust the resources. But you will have this recording available when the app, for example, crashes. So when you get the exception, or when you identify in another way within your app that it is behaving abnormally, you'll be able to reach out for this recording, to save this to a file, or to send this to your issue tracker, or to your cloud or something like that, and you'll be able just to have this recording ready for the developers. So basically, you won't be needing to replicate the bug manually. You will just have what the application was doing when the bug happened. And all of those at the end reduces costs. And for developers, maybe we are not counting costs. Those are the project managers' ashes. But it frees us to do the more meaningful work. So we are not stuck in fixing bugs in the code we wrote. We can write some more creative stuff, and just to have this time better used. Okay, and and that's almost concludes the presentation. And what I would like to say at the end is, if there is any developer, software developer in the audience, if there is one thing that I would like you to take out from the presentation, is that we are very fortunate when we software developers. We are very fortunate because we can create our own tools. We can create our own tools. We can use the knowledge and the skills we have in our daily work to create the tools that we use. For example, the violin player, he cannot create his own tools using the same skills. So we are very fortunate for that. And if you are a software developer, please think about that also, and don't be shy if you want to scratch some itch you have and to create some tools for you. Okay, and right now I think we can have some questions and answers.
Yeah, I just want to say that's a very revolutionary product that you have. It's like, I've not seen anything like that where you can do different views of the threading. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Thank you.
No worries. So anybody who's got any questions, just type them up for Adam or Dave in the chat box. I noticed that Ala wanted to be presenter. I'm not sure. That could be a bug from GoToMeeting. But as I said, if you got any questions for Dave or Adam, please type them up. So you're right now only making this product available for .NET, and then I mean, will you be ever releasing any sort of roadmap at all on other frameworks that you'll be supporting? I mean, I know you mentioned the .NET Core.
Yeah. Yes, yes, we'll be releasing a roadmap for that. But right now we are also trying to get the feedback, because in the software we are creating for the enterprise clients. And of course, we are using Microsoft .NET mainly, but we are also using Python, we are using Java, we are using Ruby, and we have quite a lot of the stack or infrastructure written for us even in Go. So I myself I'm a firm believer in something which is called polyglot programming. So I believe that a programmer should know many or at least few programming languages. And of course it's great if those are different paradigm languages. So functional programming. You can do that on .NET with F#, but functional programming, object-oriented programming, hybrid programming like Scala, which also is available for .NET and for Java, and so basically we also encourage all developers to use other tools and other platforms, and we have quite a bunch of those. So right now we are just also gathering feedback what platforms people would like to have the time machine for. And Python, there is a Python is very, very often shows up, and of course there is a PHP even, and so we are just gathering feedback, and then we'll just try to decide, okay, with what the platforms will just go on. And of course, at the end, we'll have to have as much of them as as it can be, but time will show.
I noticed Dave's question about try to stump you, ask hard questions. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I know that here in Toronto with the data science community and how big data is obviously big. The one big area that I noticed that this product would be a huge big need for is supporting GPUs. Because Go ahead.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Because right now, in my case, if I'm developing, let's say, obviously this is a trading kind of group, when you move into trading type of applications, specifically more higher speed type of programs like a high frequency trading, there's a lot of multi-threading. So with this type of tool, to be able to view what you've shown in the different threads, to be able to have that sort of support, not just only like in a non-GPU kind of environment, but also for a GPU environment, this product would be, as I said, really revolutionary and really, really helpful in those type of environments. Because a lot of these type of applications for high frequency trading are leveraging a lot of multi-threading, and this product would be very, very useful. I could see that for sure.
Yes. I can imagine that it should be, I don't have that much background with high frequency trading. I have only read how it is done, just as a hobby. But right now, the time machine for .NET, it does have some performance penalty. It is quite low. We try to be it as low as possible, and within our tests, for at least for the web apps we are creating, the performance penalty was even less than the active debug session. So it wasn't significant, but in a high-frequency trading, when you fight for nanoseconds, it can be meaningful. So I'm not quite sure if we'll be able to, to make that happen. But it's a very interesting idea, and I think we'll, try to look closer to that. And as of the GPU, and it's not really a .NET. So. Or at least it's not compiled to some bytecode. It's compiled to for the GPU processor directly. So probably we'll just have to create another product for that, just to support what you can do on the GPU. And I think it's very interesting idea, and I will try to think hard, how to do that.
The thing is,
that's really cool.
The thing is that I'm using an OSQL database called Redis, and that's where I do a lot of my recording right in the Redis. So you were mentioning about the 1 gig memory. I mean, if there was a way you could hook in the back end of Time Machine and have it pump a log equivalent into Redis somehow and be able to record everything in real time, and I'm sure Redis would be able to keep up with that, just as a suggestion or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great suggestion. I'll try to fiddle with that idea, and I really like it. And yeah, I see the uses of that. That's great.
It definitely helped me out a lot. I know Ala asked a question about presentation available. If Ala, I can put you. You wanted to be the presenter. I'm not sure. I can just let me know if you want to ask a question via audio. Okay. And if you got a question, just type it up. But there was a question about presentations. You guys sent me out a slide deck earlier. This presentation, I'm assuming, that is already in the Meetup group in the setting of for this Meetup. I posted a link of that in the Meetup group itself, so it's already up.
Awesome.
Yeah, if that's the same. Anybody else got any questions? Yeah, and as Dave says, we are going to give away a couple of licenses. What I was thinking, Dave, is maybe give away 2 licenses, and then what I can do is I can do an email. I've got about 5,000 people on my email list, and I can give away three copies of that in the email, and do the first 3 people that respond, we can give out licenses like that if you want to do that.
Well, that sounds great, man. I mean, we could give away 2 tonight, and I can get you a few more for your mass email too.
Okay.
So how about I give you 2 more tonight, and then you can just give away 5 emails.
How many people we got online? We've got Ron, Roxroy, Shalom, Volodek, Anastasio, and Robert. So we've got 5 new people. If people want to, well, we can do some test questions here, like really easy one on .NET. You want to do that?
Hey, sock it to him, guys, because I mean he's kind of a savant, or so I hear. So.
Why don't we do this? We'll give out. You want to give out 4 tonight? Okay, so why don't we do the first question of what is the alternative IDE from Microsoft that's available for both Mac and Linux? The name of it. Real easy. Everyone should know that. If you're using Visual Studio, it's a hint, but it's not Visual Studio itself. It's another product name. We'll do the first person that can name that product. Anybody out there? That's a really simple IDE, Microsoft. I'm sure you guys know it. Come on, anybody type it up? No? I'll do a going once, 3, 4, or 5 times, and then we'll see.
And you can use Google.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's Google.
Nobody's going to know.
Roxroy just came back. Close, Ala. Roxroy's on his way. It's called Visual Studio Code. Ala was close. Do you want to give Roxroy a license? Roxroy got that one right. Yeah. Okay, Roxroy, just email me. I'll type in my email. Give me your contact, and I'll send you out the license. Here, I'm just typing it out now. So send it out to feedback@quantlabs.net. I've got my email open right now. So just email me at feedback@quantlabs right now, and I'll give out that license to you. And I'll make note of it. So we're giving out 4 licenses. You guys got any test questions you'd like to ask for a license that you can think of, Adam? A simple one?
We're talking before the presentation. We're talking about that, but maybe that's also a good question. So, what is the I could say the next version of Microsoft .NET framework, which will be multi-platform able? So we will be able to run those in Windows, Linux, Macs, and even FreeBSD. So what is this called?
Yeah, we've already mentioned it a couple times today.
Yeah.
That's an easy one too. If you're a follower of Microsoft product, just got announced 3 days ago. Anybody? Roxroy's already got his license. People are Googling right now as we speak. I've got another question we can offer. It's a little more technical. I just put it up on my blog. Anybody got an answer for that last question? The open source .NET name that will be available for Mac and Linux. And it's not .NET, but it's .NET something. And it's been mentioned earlier tonight already. I mentioned it. Adam's mentioned it right at the beginning. There we go. Roxroy got it again. Ding, ding, ding. But he's going. Anybody else got the name? Type it up. It's a chance to get a free license. Roxroy is only available. Oh, Anastasia. Okay, so Anastasios, send me your email, okay? I'll type up my email again. It's feedback@quantlabs.net. All right. So give me your contact, and I'll send you out an extra license. Hurrah! Okay, let's do a trickier one. Microsoft just announced in the last 2 days they're relaunching a product. Well, it's actually a programming language. The first hint is version 3, and it starts with iron. All you have to do is name me the language. So it's iron, whatever. The language is version 3. They just, Ron got it. Even Ron, send me your contact.
That's right.
It's iron Python 3. Oh, Robert just got one. So I think we got ourselves a set of winners. We got Roxroy, Ron. Roxroy, guys, it was close as well for the... Okay, so guys, Roxroy, Robert, Ron, and I hope I got your name right, Anastasios. Just send me your contact at feedback@quantlabs.net, and I'll give out those licenses. I think we got 4 licenses just given away.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah, awesome.
Awesome, because we wanted .NET people out. That's what we got some answers for. Oh, I got Anastasia's contact just came in. Anybody else want a winner? Let me know. Just email me your contact. I got Anastasia's. Anybody else? Come and get them. Free licenses. I guess the question is, are you able to talk about what the going price will be, or is that not public yet?
It's $25 a month right now is what we've got. So
it's a software as a service product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's we're giving away about $300 worth of software.
Wow.
It's all good. Per license, I guess. But,
Yep. And
that's nothing compared to what IntelliTrace will cost, though. So.
Right. Well, I know the Microsoft .NET the MSDN subscription is like massive, like $15,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah. So this is just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Anastasia, I got your email. Yeah, I got it. Anybody else want a free license? No? Come on, guys. You deserve it. You answer some questions. Sure. Shalom. Send me your email. I got your email. I know that. Anybody else got any questions for Dave or Adam? Type them up in the chat box. So for my end, the other question is, as you mentioned languages, you're not going to have any support at all, you think, for C++?
Because
Because I know it's a tough language.
C++, this one actually is, a little bit complex. Because, we also use the C++, and we would like to have that, but how to say that? The crazy stuff that the compilers of C++ are doing to the code and how they are optimizing that is so crazy that it will be probably a little bit more complex than what we have done for Microsoft.NET and for most other high-level languages. And I think we'll try to, or we'll at least, in some moment we'll try to do that. But right now, this actually the C++ is just the language with I'm personally a little bit afraid of, with all the latest additions, in the C++ 14 standard, and it became quite huge, and there the C++ is how to say that, if you use one compiler and then you compile your app with that, and you use the other compiler and you compile your app, sometimes you get a very, very different binaries. The output is very, very different, and so basically it is a territory I'm not that comfortable with, but we'll like to have that. I don't know when, but we'll have to. We'll like to have.
So Ron asked the question: is there a solution coming up? You did mention Java, but he was asking about with Eclipse.
Yeah. Okay. So right now, of course, we don't have that solution for Java Eclipse, and actually, there is a commercial product available which is doing something similar to what we are doing. It is doing in a completely different way, but it is especially tailored for Java and allows to record also to record what the app is doing under the hood. It is called Chronon, just free advertising for them. But this software, I don't know what the prices are. I wasn't that much interested. I didn't test that product because but I know that it exists, and I know that for the recording purposes, they are not compiling the app. They are just hooking into the Java virtual machine. So hard to say how much it slows down the app. Probably quite much. But hard to say. I didn't see this myself. But right now we can try that. We'll also look for the Java platform and for the mobile platform where the Java is for the Android, but it will be those plans we have for the next year and so.
Yeah. Anybody else got any questions? We're just coming up to under an hour, which is perfect. Anybody?
It's interesting you mentioned that C++. I mean, there was a conference recently that was begging for us to come, but they really, really wanted us to do something with Time Machine and C++, and I was like, no, C Sharp, sorry. So there seems to be some demand for that.
Oh, I would say, as I said, when you tie it back to the high-frequency trading apps, about 90% of them are done in C++. And I understand what Adam's saying about the different compilers and whatnot, and that is obviously very true. But again, it comes back to what I was saying earlier. There would be a massive demand for that kind of product available for C++ for sure, because when you talk to any C++ developer, debugging is probably the worst aspect of the whole language. And if this kind of product, at least just recording within each thread and what the app is doing visually somehow, I mean, that would be, again, beyond revolutionary. It'd be like a dream come true for a lot of C++ developers, for sure.
Man, that sounds like a destination, because we are thinking about the next platform to go to.
Sure. And from my experience, go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, we also got quite a lot of feedback from game developers. Mm-hmm. And we met quite of the Finnish from the Finland the developer studios, the indie developer studios, and all of us in our team, we are fan of indie games, And
love them.
yeah, and just to mention that it's we'll at some point of time, and probably it will be a hobby project of a few of us, maybe on weekends even. We'll also have unfortunately unofficial support for running Time Machine with Unity 3D, so with games, indie games wrote in the Unity 3D game engine. Unfortunately, it will be an official, support, because the Unity itself doesn't allow to, plug in your own compiler into the pipeline. So we'll do that in some, hacking way, and abusing what they are doing with the Unity a little bit. But it's funny that you mentioned the C++. The same crowd of game developers were asking us about the Unity support, and they were also, of course, asking us, okay, do we have plans to support the Unreal Engine, which of course is wrote in C++, and I'm quite, I'm not really sure which will be harder, to support the GPU and the high frequency trading, or support this.
Well, no, I mean it's
game engine.
It's kind of, in some ways it's disruptive, because I mean we've talked to quite a few different people, like the smaller studios and the independent developers. They love it, because hey, they don't have to look for bugs very much. It really adds value to their service, So, but there are some resistance from other places that maybe they're not able to bill for looking for bugs so much anymore, and so this could be a tool that is disruptive for a lot of companies, or it could be something that really adds value to their service. I mean, when you maybe some companies were billing quite a bit for looking for bugs, and they won't be able to do that so much anymore. But on the other hand, if you're trying to disrupt that and get a foot into the market, this could give you such an advantage over everybody else, the established players.
Yeah, because I've never seen a product that can do exactly what you've demonstrated, Adam, about with the different views of the threading, not in real time, but pretty close, but being able to record all that. I mean, that is something I never thought of. And just seeing that, it just, as you said, it brings in both disruption to the industry, and obviously it's very revolutionary, because, for somebody like myself that is moving into C++, into more heavy multi-threading environments, this kind of product would be beyond useful and very productive. And I'm sure that there would be a lot of companies willing to pay top dollar for it. So, and I also understand how you have to pick battles, because there's so many diverges in different platforms that you have to pick your battles, and I kind of get that. So, and there's so many different ways you can go about it, as you said, about Python or Scala, or in this case C++, or even Java. So I understand your dilemma, where you're coming from. Yeah, it's a big challenge that you'd face when it comes to this, and obviously it comes down to market demand.
Yeah.
Good problems to have.
Yeah. But it's a challenge, because me being a software developer, to put this type of product together, I can imagine is very, very challenging. And yet, as he says about C++, let's say, that obviously would be a big challenge. I can see that, in mutual respect to what you're saying, Adam, from a software developer point of view. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it is a challenge, but on the other hand, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you need to pay yourself at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you want to focus on the markets that are going to be profitable for you. I'm in the same boat myself.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions at all? If not, we can wrap it up. I just want to say, from my point of view, I learned a lot. It really opened my eyes on as new ideas. I mean, this is a fantastic product for .NET developers, that's for sure. I think it's revolutionary what you have and what you built. I salute you for it.
From our side, I mean, we thank you so much, Brian, for hosting us here, and we had a great time, and hopefully we can do a whole lot more things, be it in person or otherwise. And I think you're running a terrific program here.
Oh, thanks.
And it's been a great honor to be a part of it, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem. And I want to say thank you very much for the licenses from everybody. You know, for all our winners and future winners on our email I'll send this out probably Thursday, Friday, and I'll put this video in there and try to get some more views for you. And obviously, being on YouTube in itself will help you out as well.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And of course, if anyone would have some more questions, you can reach us at emails presented here, and I'm available all the time for your questions.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, insults, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You guys got my email. All right.
Yep.
Anybody have any last parting questions for Adam, Dave, at all? Anybody? Going once, going twice, 3 times? No? Okay. Again, guys, this was really, really exciting to see. I'm like, this blew my socks off, honestly.
Yeah. We get that. Yeah.
And what I'll do... Sorry, somebody say something?
Oh, no, just, thank you very much.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
for the
thank
feedback.
you.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to hear that from you, especially.
No problem.
So.
No problem. I think this is a really, really cool product. Oh, Robert just put in... Robert asked, what was the price again?
$7 million. 25
$25 a month.
$25 a month.
Yeah, software as a service, Robert. Anybody else got questions? No? Maybe? Going once, twice, 3 times? Okay, so I guess we're done. I appreciate you doing this. And you guys got my email, so just get in touch with me, anything you want, and I'll let you know when the video goes up as well, okay?
All right.
So it'll take a couple...
Thank you so much, Brian.
No problem. It'll take a couple hours. And thanks for everyone for participating in this. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, I'll terminate the video and the GoToMeeting session as well. So everyone have a good night, good day for wherever you are. Thanks again, Dave and Adam.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Good night, Adam.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys. Have a good night. Bye. Later.